San Diego Comic-Con has come and gone, and the biggest news that we got over the course of the weekend is that Robert Downey Jr. is back. But not as Iron Man, though. He is back as Dr. Doom, and that got a couple people upset. But that's why I'm here. Bro, that intro. Yeah. What's going on, guys? This is Earth's Mac, the mad scientist, and this is the Orange Phoenix Show. I greatly appreciate the love and the support from last week doing comic book coverage, so I'm going to continue to do comic book coverage. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, and do not forget to hit that Discord invite and join the Geek Corner through Discord, where we have these type of conversations about comics. Now, let's get into it. So there are 3 comics that intertwines Dr. Doom and Iron Man. There's Infamous Iron Man, there's Marvel's What If, and there's also Exiles number 23. And Exiles number 23 is the one that we're going to cover today. Now, with Robert Downey Jr. being casted as Dr. Doom, again, what I was saying in the intro is that people were a little upset about, Tony Stark being Dr. Doom. But I'm thinking what they're doing is intertwining these 3 comics together. And this is a different Tony Stark. This is in a different universe. This is part of the multiverse. It's like what if Tony Stark becomes Dr. Doom? What if he actually is Victor Von Doom? So we're going to jump into Exiles number 23. So here's how this starts. As you look at this panel, you see Iron Man in a Dr. Doom outfit, but it explains how he's able to wear that. Now, I mean, nothing happens if you wear the cape, but it's just an iconic thing that Dr. Doom actually has. Now, this panel goes on. It was a long and agonizing road that brought him to power. In the end, nearly every living being on Earth begged and prayed for him to assume the mantle. He slowly did so with great reluctance, with a heavy heart. With very few living beings know is that Tony Stark had planned this all along. One does not take a planet by force. That is, if one wants to remain in power, it is always better to be given control. In times of great weakness, a single individual can rise up and assume immense control. Stark knew this. All he had to do was make the world weak enough. So basically what he did in this comic, he is cold and calculating. He is one of the most brilliant minds in the Marvel universe. So if you take that and you flip that over to a evil-minded person, he is very hard to defeat. Now he has a solution for everything. Now, mind you, is he the smartest person in the Marvel universe? No, he's not. I think that title goes to Reed Richards, but I will speak about Reed Richards later on in the comic. So Iron Man does this in phases. The first phase is the Mutant War. And with the Mutant War, it was under the command of Magneto. And in this Mutant War, a lot of mutants lost their lives. A lot of humans have lost their lives. But at the same time, this was all part of the plan because Magneto is working with Iron Man. Magneto is actually sacrificing mutant lives, which is odd to say that because Magneto is all about, the preservation of mutant life, peace and tranquility for mutants. So this is a reality that's flipped on. As you see in this panel, it says Stark has succeeded in thinning out the world's super being population. In return for his traitorous acts against his own race, Magneto promised Iron Man leadership of the remaining vestiges of humanity. But obviously you can't leave that loose end out there, right? So if you look at Iron Man kills off Magneto, one of his loose ends. But that's not it though. Now this goes to the next phase because in this great mutant war that happened and many lives were lost, the people were weak enough to actually say, hey, Tony, you are our guy. You're the one who took out Magneto, the leader of the mutant war. Can you be our president? They voted him in as president of the United States, which leads to phase 3, Dr. Doom. Now, Magneto and Iron Man wasn't the only alliance that was formed. The other alliance was between Tony Stark and Victor Von Doom. And in this situation, he was basically tasked with taking out all the political leaders. Anybody that was at least any type of opposition for Tony Stark, Dr. Doom was to take them all out, which he basically did that. But, Dr. Doom is Dr. Doom, so he decided to turn on Tony and take the power for himself. But that didn't go the way he wanted. This is where you get this little iconic picture of Iron Man in the Doctor Doom cape and hood, and it says, "There is only Tony Stark, Iron Man, sovereign of Earth." At this point, you have a brilliant mind in Doctor Doom, you have brilliant leadership in Magneto, all taken off the chessboard. And now, at this point in time, Iron Man or Tony Stark is basically living high on the hog to a point where there was a reporter that we don't see, which that's unimportant, but that lets you know that anybody that has something negative to say about Tony Stark, whether you're in media or anything of that nature, he will kill you. And that goes without saying. He says on the last panel, "Yes, please have her killed. The media is our tool, not her soapbox. I'm tired of her accusations and criticism. Now, if you will all excuse me, this broken body is actually due for a medical checkup." Now, the Iron Man armor that he's in is basically keeping him alive, and he cannot take that armor off for a period of 3 years or so. And we go to the next panel and we see that the face of Tony Stark is really a hologram. During his fight with Doctor Doom messed him up pretty bad. Like, just keep it a buck here. Doctor Doom is not an easy feat. He's not an easy person to defeat physically, as smart as he is. And one of the most prized possessions that Doctor Doom has is his intelligence. So for him to be an underling of Tony Stark, that was not happening. A fight was soon to happen at this point. So Tony has his plastic surgeon, which is, from in this reality, the best plastic surgeon in the world. And she's in the process of actually healing Tony Stark to get his face back to the way it is. Now, during that point in time, no one knows how he really looks, except for the plastic surgeon, just by gathering what this comic is saying. But there is a particular group of people that has not been wiped off the board, is the Inhumans. Now, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Inhumans, but the interesting thing about this is that Sue Storm is standing beside Black Bolt. And what we come to realize is that Reed Richards is dead. So what do you get when you get the smartest guy in the Marvel Universe and he's no longer there? They are in dire straits. Like, Tony is literally the smartest guy in that Marvel Universe. But the reason Tony could not find Inhumans place of operations is because they were basically running. They were in hiding. You cannot find them. There was not, it couldn't pull up on the radar. But now there's a blip on the radar because they have to fix a certain item. As we go further, you get to learn about the relationship between Sue Storm and Black Bolt, because now at this point in time, they are married. So since Reed has died in the battle and Medusa's died in the battle, they found each other through grief, basically. So at that point in time, she talks about the relationship, the contrast between Black Bolt and Reed. Reed get wraps up in his work and he can't stop talking. Whereas Black Bolt, he can't say anything at all, because if he even says one word, he can level a city. That's how powerful Black Bolt is. But with Black Bolt and Sue Storm having this conversation with each other, Black Bolt comes up with the idea of the G barrier. Now, the G barrier is this impenetrable force field that nothing can penetrate it. And this is something that was created by like Reed Richards and Galactus. At one point, Galactus came down to Earth. He was in a weakened state, and the Marvel superheroes actually defeated Galactus. But Reed Richards actually struck a deal with Galactus on not coming back and trying to eat the planet. Now, before Reed Richards died, he entrusted that force field to the Inhumans as a means of defense if someone was to find them. So this doesn't really bode well for Tony Stark, because this is an impenetrable force field. But as he laments about it, he talks about, sir, the activation of the shield alone sent a shockwave that, well, they're gone, sir. All 4 battalions, nearly 40,000 in all, and the force field is impenetrable. Keep trying to report back if anything changes. And at this point, Tony laments about how hopeless this situation is, and there's a mysterious conversation coming from behind him, and that is Weapon X, led by Gambit, guys. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is only part 1 of this particular story. So you can actually check this story out in Marvel Unlimited. If you don't have Marvel Unlimited, it is an app you can download on your phone for a monthly fee, of course, and you get to read some of the older comics for free. You can actually read that stuff digitally. Now, for the end of our show, of course, I'm going to tell you what the next comic we're going to cover, and that is Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu number 0. All right. And I'm super excited about Moon Knight, but we definitely going to jump into it. But I hope you guys enjoy the show. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. So until next time, y'all, peace.